What's up, everybody? Bert here, riding to work on my new 2024 Africa Twin base model. I haven't really done any videos on it. I've had it for about a month, but that's just because I've been too busy trying to install parts, getting it set up the way I want it. I'm also testing out a new Insta360 Ace Pro 2 camera today, so we're going to see how that looks compared to my old GoPro Hero 8s. So far, this bike, I absolutely am in love with it. And she stops on a dime. Yeah, one of the main reasons why I like this bike so much is the Android Auto. And I installed a wireless dongle in it too, so as you can see, no wire. But I have Android Auto up and functioning. It's bright out. So one of my riding partners asked why I would buy an Africa Twin when I already have a fully modded 24 Tenere 700. I have that bike set up to be just a big dirt bike, and this bike is a lot more street friendly. I can cruise at 80 miles an hour and it's somewhere in the like 6,000 RPM range or even less. And the Tenere is like screaming 7,500 at that point. Plus this one has cruise control. So cruise control, quick shifter, although I have a quick shifter on the T7 also. But yeah, no, this is going to be the bike I want more for street use. My Starbucks mobile. But I've already done a bunch of stuff to it. AXP skid plate, Dominator HV7 exhaust with no DB killer, bark busters with storm guards, the new double take mirrors, extended ship pedal so I can fit my big boots underneath. I have a Midas Dakar XT front and a 2-track rear. What else have I done to this thing? I have the HEED full upper crash bars. And what else? What else have I done to this thing? I got my quad lock with wireless charging. As I mentioned earlier, the wireless Android Auto for this thing. And I got a seat comfort seat. That's they're tall rally, I believe. So I have the proper knee bend for my long legs. It is a muggy, swampy Florida morning. April 1st. I also have installed the LSK dongle, so if I just hit a button, and you see on the dash, traction control, ABS just turned off, and then I can hit the button, hold it again, and it turns right back on. I have that on my Tenere 700 also, and that makes a huge difference. Instead of fumbling through buttons, just hit a button and you're good to go. I also have the BRP sub mount with a knockoff damper, and then I did the Skeen lighting and a knockoff tail tidy. So the bike's clean. Just hit 1,030 miles in a month. I've been riding it almost every day. Tenere is sitting there. I can drive it, drive it, but it is on recall for the clutch. The clutch has been clunky from the beginning, but it really didn't bother me too much. I done 5,500 miles, including the SM500 from Florida up there and back, and yeah, it doesn't seem to make a huge problem for the bike, but it doesn't shift as smooth as it should. So once they get the parts in, I'm going to take that bike in and get it fixed. But that bike's not going anywhere, and this bike's not going anywhere either. I love this bike. It is humid today. More humid than humid, some would say, but I wouldn't. Get off your phone. So the Midas Dakar XT front, I've probably put about 200 miles on it so far. Highway speeds 80 miles an hour, all the way up to 100. Small bit of head shake, but nothing bad. All I did was turn up the damper a little bit and smooth that out. That's really for speeds above like 80 miles an hour that it really happens. But this is the first Midas XT car tire that I've tried. We're all in love with the Enduro ST fatty tires for front, but that is a tubed type tire. And then the rear 2-track, we've used them now for about, I've used them for about 5,500 miles on the rear of the Tenere 700, and it still has more than probably 50% life left on it. A lot of pavement riding from Orlando up to Georgia, doing the Smoky Mountain 500, and then riding back, and then a lot of street and sand Ocala riding. And yeah, no, that's holding up well. Haven't had any issues with some of the other problems people were having with the tires chunking. I think we're running like 26, 27 PSI on them for the T7, the 890, and the Touareg. Cruise control action, and let's see what yeah, look, 58 miles per hour, and we are at like 4,300 RPM. And then on my way home tonight I'll get some cruising speeds, but that's the main reason I didn't want to re-gear the T7, and I wanted something with a bit more power. And this definitely has quite a bit more power. It feels so much faster than the Tenere 700, and the Tenere has full exhaust and a tune, and it's nowhere in comparison performance wise, even though it's a ridiculously fun bike on the street or off-road. So far, I haven't done a lot of highway riding, but my mixed riding and running the bike fairly hard, I'm getting somewhere in the range of 38 to 40 miles per gallon, and it has a 5-gallon tank, so I'm sure on the highway, doing cruising speeds, just with the cruise control set, it'll easily get over 200 miles a tank. It'll be interesting to see how the camera looks. I've been running ND filters for all my recording, and this one does not have it. It just has a protective glass covering. It might look more natural. Who knows? Quick shifter, nice, no clutch downshifts. Even with the knobbly tires, the bike seems to ride pretty smooth. Nice smooth engine. You got a big old sewing machine. Another cool thing about the bike is auto-canceling turn signals. Because for some reason on the other bikes I have a tendency to leave them on when I've got a bunch going on in my tiny little brain. Alright, magic of the internet, we are back on my way home from work, and we are going to take the bike on some highway speed to see how it does. Shouldn't be any issue for this bike for sure. Plenty of power, plenty of gearing, and sweet cruise control. Switch over to the dash, regular dash. Have it in the user mode 1, traction control and wheel control on level 2, power at max, engine braking at the least amount, ABS on. Two-track tire combo and the Dakar XT. We'll see how noisy it is. So this is one of the benefits of having this bike. 5,500 RPM at 94 miles an hour. And my speedometer is correct. I've already checked it against GPS. But normal cruising speed, 80, 82 miles an hour, 4,800 RPM. You can hear the tires, but the tires aren't that bad. But at this speed, there is a little bit more shake in the handlebars. But nothing too bad, although you can't see it shaking. Look at that old Dodge Dakota. Now I do have the front and the rear tire balanced, so whatever shake I'm getting is from the road and from the front tire. Fuel lights on. Left lane, rider. It's extremely windy today also. So the windshield I have in the tallest position is probably still not tall enough for me. I do get quite a bit of side-to-side buffeting if I'm sitting, upright pretty well. Yeah, so the Tenere 700 at this speed would be like 7,500 to 8,000 RPM. So this is a whole lot better highway bike with the stock gearing comparison between the two. Ooh, there's traffic everywhere today. That is a massive rainstorm going on. I guess I'm going to bypass there today. Highway all the way home. So the exhaust I have is the Dominator HP7. Got the slip on and have the DB killer out. It's not much drone. It's not super loud, but it still sounds pretty good over stock. So it won't go deaf. It's also extremely large end fan. It looks about the same size as the stock, but weighs about 6 pounds less. So that was another reason why I did it, just a little bit less weight. So when I started adding bark busters and other odds and ends to the bike, I at least saved a little bit of weight. Because the 2-track alone weighs 6 pounds more than the stock Bridgestone or Michelin, whatever it is, anything wild. I don't remember. I know it was terrible off-road for what little bit I did. That was the other cool thing about it, is having the ability to have Gaia on here. It was pretty neat. So this is definitely my favorite bike I've owned so far. I've in the last 7 years owned like 7 bikes, and for whatever reason, every time I see this bike, I want to ride it over the other 2 bikes. At least for commuting, it's just a much better all-around bike than the Tenere 700. And at some point I'll try to start taking it off-road to see how it compares to the T7, but I know the T7 is going to beat it there because it's just so much lighter. But how the noise reduction does on this camera, also how the picture quality compares. It feels like it's lighter than my other setup. GoPro Hero 8 and a cage with a microphone adapter. It was quite heavy, and this one doesn't seem like it's that bad, so we'll see how it goes. But if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching and listening to me babble, whatever you want to call it. And oh, look at the donkeys. That's it. That's all, folks.